Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Now today we're going to be reacting over the Liverpool game which happened yesterday. We lost 2-1 and let's get straight into it. As we know, the game started with a penalty with us. Very fortunate in my opinion. It could have easily been given as a free kick or even maybe in some people's opinion not even a foul at all. I do think it was a foul though. As we know these sort of things, what goes around comes around, and we know that quite a bit of things haven't gone our way this season so far, so it's nice to get something going our direction. But except for the penalty, the first 30 minutes, in my opinion, I feel like we dominate the game. It was ours for the taking. McBurney missed a massive chance. Granted, it was on his left foot, but I feel he did have enough time to shift it to his right foot. Even if he didn't, he should have at least got it on target, maybe win us a corner, or at least make the keeper make a save. I do also feel that McBurney in that first 30 minutes was a very threatening player for us. Didn't look very good in front of goal, but in terms of variability, no one could stop him. They had to get two players on him in the end to actually stop him winning the ball every time in the air, because when it came tailoring the ball, no one was stopping him otherwise. And I think that was an early sign of why Liverpool was starting to already miss Van Dijk, because if he was on the pitch, he was the only player who was going to ever win a header. Unfortunately for us though, as the half wore on, Liverpool got stronger. Not really a surprise, but it happened. It started with them countering our counter-attacks, and it paid off for them. They got their goal, and when it comes to conceding it to Liverpool, especially when you're playing well and solid at the back, you think they can still score, but it's going to be a moment of brilliance, you know. We know that from some of their players, but to concede it from a cross was almost criminal, especially considering how solid we were at the back last year. To have Mane win a header with being unmarked was terrible, and then on top of that, Firmino unmarked as well. So then both of them had plenty of time, and no one was there to stop Firmino tapping it into an empty net. Maybe this is slightly harsh, but I do feel Ramsdale could have pushed it past the post. He passed it straight into Firmino's path, so it was pretty easy for him, but nonetheless, it shouldn't have happened anyway. Someone should have cleared that ball once Ramsdale parried it into Firmino's path. Now moving on to the second half, Brewster basically ghosted in the game and he was taken off because of that, and then Burke came on to replace him, looked very useful for us and nearly scored after coming on straight away. Then Liverpool scored an amazing goal through Salah. Luckily for us, it was ruled out from offside, which was very fortunate because it was sloppy from us not picking Salah up. Great goal nonetheless, but you thought it was offside. That was my gut instinct, and you could sort of tell by Salah's celebration that he had suspicions that he would be offside. It really should have been a wake-up call for us. You know, the fact that they were free to run and no one was stopping the Alexander-Arnold cross should have made us realise that that was a big threat and we should have been stopping that. We didn't. We then paid for it a few minutes after with a Jota header, which is really frustrating because just like the first goal I said with the crosses, it's the same with this, another cross and then a free header once again. It was Stevens who was meant to mark Jota, and in fairness, he's usually a left back, but still, I do think he could have done better in trying to at least put pressure on Jota, and he tucked it away very nicely in the corner, but it shouldn't have been a goal. It was very poor from us. After we conceded that second goal, though, we did go more offensive, which was nice to see. We've been very negative this season and lacked a lot of creativity, so it was nice to see us go with two strikers and the creative player behind them with McGoldrick, who had a very quick start, almost scoring straight away, but after that, nothing really happened in the game. Burke had a chance towards the end where you thought if he hit low and hard, it could have at least won us a corner. Didn't happen, went high into the stands, and that was it. That was the game, you know. It was a game where in the first half you thought we might be able to get something out of it. We looked very solid, but as the game wore on, our defensive frailty showed and our lack of creativity also showed. However, some sort of single performances I'd like to shout out. I think Osborne and Baldock, the two fullbacks, played very well, very solid, and especially in the first half looked very good. And then also the two of the men in midfield, and Padu and Berg, very good games as well. And well done to Berg for scoring his first goal of the season. To sum up though, I'm just going to be a negative summary. I feel that we've shown why we are where we are this season in that game. I think we don't want to mirage this game, and that we don't want to feel that this is actually a positive losing to Liverpool, because although they're a great team, it sort of shows where we are as a team if we think this is a positive, because it's a sign of a relegation team. It's a sign of also a team coming up from the Championship where you sort of you thrive in these games, but you go into them thinking you're going to lose and you'll take a 2-0 defeat because you don't want to get embarrassed. That's what we weren't about last season. We didn't want to give any respect to the oppositions. I feel like that's what we're starting to do. Maybe not as players and as manager, but at least as fans. I feel that last season, if this was a game, we'd been disappointed, we'd been very frustrated to concede from two set pieces. So why has it changed this season? Surely the standard should increase, not decrease, especially when you think we spent just under 100 million basically. I think you've also got to look at two factors. Liverpool had 3 chances yesterday and scored 3 goals. Granted, one was offside, so it didn't count, but nonetheless, 3 shots, 3 goals. Now us, we had similar stats, but we had obviously 1 goal and 1 was from a penalty. So I think we've got to look at 2 factors, that either we need to convert more chances or we need to create more chances, because if we don't do either one of those, we're going down. Now, if you look at the projections, we have scored 3 goals from 6 games. That's half a goal a game, which means if you look at over 38 games, granted it's early on in the season, so this could change very quickly, we're going to be scoring 18 goals this season. Now, I can't think for the life of me what team has survived with 18 goals. Now, we probably could have done it last season because we kept a lot of clean sheets, but as we've shown this year, that's not happening either. We conceded 9 goals in 6 games, which means we're projected to concede 57 goals this season. Now, at this rate, we're going to be doing a derby. I mean, it's ridiculous. I know it's early doors, and I know we've played some very tricky teams, but it just shows the way we're playing and the formation and the players and the lack of creativity just isn't working. And it's just really frustrating for me because I feel if that changes, we could be a lot more positive. We could get a lot more results this season. I'm not saying in terms of ability with level Aston Villa, but I do feel there's some sort of comparison. You think Villa were very positive against Liverpool, and they even played against Van Dijk, which we didn't do, luckily, and they won 7-2. You know, it's just really frustrating for me. Now, also, 3 of the goals we've scored this season, 2 of them being penalties, so there's only been 1 from open play, which was lucky in a sense anyway that we actually played that attacking. And considering we haven't kept clean sheets, like I mentioned, I don't see us winning 1-0 this season, so we're going to have to score at least 2 goals a game to at least possibly guarantee a win. And I don't think that's going to happen either, because we only did that 9 times last season where we scored more than 1 goal. I think the main reason for our poor form this season, though, is down to defence. You know, obviously, losing O'Connor was a massive player for us. If you look at last season, it took us 12 games to concede 9 goals. We did that in 6 games this year. It does show that we're going to have to be scoring more goals, because I don't see any time soon us conceding less. Now, the question mark is, how do we change this? You know, we can't just suddenly feel sorry for ourselves and hope it changes. Tactics need to change, formations possibly need to change. So the way I see us doing this is one of 2 ways. Now, we know we don't have wingers, so we can't be playing a 4-2-3-1, nothing like that, because the only makeshift winger we've got is Burke. So the way I see us doing it, first of all, is keeping the same formation. However, the fullbacks/wingbacks play more to support the midfield rather than the attack. We know how pivotal they were to us last season, stopping teams and also creating chances for us, which were at a minimal. Now, teams have figured that out this season, and I know overlapping centre-backs is a key to us as well, but that's also been ruled out this year due to tactics stopping us. So, the way I feel we should do this is we get the wing-backs to support the midfield. This is because I feel if we play McGoldrick in front of the 2 centre-mids to create more chances, that way the strikers will make more chances for themselves and have more chances of scoring, because unless there's someone like Aguero, they're not going to be able to score after having 1 chance in a game. So it would mean there'd be more chances created a game, hopefully convert to more goals, but also if there's more support in midfield, we'd have more like 4 to support in midfield rather than 2. Now, if we think that's a pretty stupid formation or pretty stupid tactics, then here's another conclusion. I feel we change the shape completely. We go to 4-1-2-1-2 diamond, which means we have 4 at the back, possibly Berg as a sitting midfielder, and then Lundstrom and Padu possibly, considering recent form, as the 2 centre mids, and then have Digi as the cam, and then Brewster McBurney up front. I feel it sort of explains itself in terms of tactics, since, like I mentioned, we're not going forward as much with our wing backs. They can be more defensive, more support for the defence, when the midfield can create more, and there's 4 of them now rather than 3. And yes, I think these are the 2 ways going forward which we could improve. I think something really does have to change. So like I mentioned, the stats are looking very unfavourable, and if we continue like we're playing now, the only way I see us staying up is we're the 4th worst team. And if you compare it to Fulham and Burnley, possibly, but I do feel West Brom, considering how they like to outscore teams, that's going to pay off for them in the end, because it paid off for Villa, and if you're negative in the Premier League season, it very rarely pays off. So I just think that this season we don't have the defence we had last year, like I mentioned, so scoring's got to change. We brought in a striker, so surely service has got to be given to him. Like I mentioned, if he's not a world-class striker, which he's not, because otherwise we're paying 80 million or plus for him, then he's not going to be able to score creating his own chances. He needs some given to him. So that's the way around it, and let me know what you think. I think this is probably a controversial video, because I know a lot of people are probably happy that we played well, but I don't think we played well enough. I don't think 30 minutes of football, even if it's against one of the best teams, if not the best team in the world, is good enough, and I think it's a start. There needs to be a lot more improvement in the next few games. Now, on a slightly better note, I just want to mention the career mode for Sheffield United should be starting tomorrow. Depending on how quickly the editing is done, it could be out by Tuesday. But I just wanted to ask you guys something quickly. Do you want to see me do transfers in the first summer window, or considering how many transfers we actually made, would you like to see me skip the first transfer window and make my own signings in the January window? Another interesting thing as well is, considering O'Connor, a massive player for our team, is actually injured for the first half of the year, if not almost the whole season, would you like to see me possibly loan him out so I can't actually use him for the career mode like we can't in real life, so it makes the series more accurate? Let me know in the comments, and considering what you guys say, I'll go with the majority and I'll do that tomorrow. Until next time, guys, take it easy.